welcome to Dub Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World with the Warriors insider Monte Poole. I'm Kerith Burke. The Warriors have dropped to 7th in the West after playing in their 6th consecutive clutch game, and they have now lost 5 straight. Now, in this clutch game, Warriors had a lead.
Again.
Warriors had a lead, again, a late lead. I'm looking at, Steph hit a turnaround jumper at 2:32, put the score at 115-109. That's where the Warriors stopped scoring. The Nuggets scored the next 10 consecutive points as the Warriors watched another one escape them. 5 consecutive losses now, and Monte and I were talking about the deja vu we're having about the Warriors' inability to keep a lead and some of their decision-making and mistakes.
Yeah, this was, Draymond Green didn't play, and obviously, you could always use him in a game like this,
Against Jokic? Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that had to hurt. But beyond that, there were opportunities. The bench really did the job of putting this game in the hands of the regulars, and they couldn't do it, and so, you look at the second half and you see all the guys who were in the plus were all the bench guys. You had GP2 was +8, Moody was +5, Trace was +7, Kyle Anderson was +4. And you look at over at the starters and it's like, ooh, and so Steph didn't have a great night, 8 of 23. That's not him. So we hope that, you hope that his foot is okay. You saw that he got stepped on there again, but he played through that. So this is one of those nights where they had a number of factors that led to this collapse. Some of it was defense. Some of it was, they missed 10 of their last 13 shots. And some of the decision-making on the shots, some of the decisions with the shots, selection could have been better.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Brandon Podziemski in this show, and that's important. We'll circle back to that in a moment. This is the second game he started. He started in that Suns game as well. And again, the Warriors trying to find something with Kevon Looney in the starting lineup. 11 rebounds for Loon. But man, just another one of those games where the Warriors, look right there, the mismatch right there. Just giving it easy to Jokic.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so post-game, Steve Kerr was hot. One of the reasons was because the Nuggets tried to call a timeout they didn't have. So we got the full-on red-faced profanity Kerr at the end of this one.
And he's going to get fined.
Yeah, and then, listen, when he's talking about better decision-making at the end of the game, he also made a point in this game, a little bit surprising for Kerr, to call out a player directly. He called out Brandon Podziemski. So let's hear in total what Steve Kerr said, and then we'll hear from Pods himself. Here's Steve.
Brown called a timeout. He dove on the floor. He rolled over. Everybody saw it except for the 3 guys we hired to do the games, and that makes me angry. This is that's a technical foul. They don't have a timeout left. It's a technical foul. We shoot a free throw. We get the ball. We got a chance to win the game. They all told me they didn't see it. He dives on the floor and rolls over, and he goes, timeout. It's up to the referees to see. That's why we have 3 of them. Somebody's got to see it. So that made me mad. So Pod's a hell of a player, but he needs to, and I've told him this, he needs to be a smart player. He's one of our guys who's capable of making really good decisions. He had a lob when we were up 12 in the late second quarter. That was frankly insane. It's a 5-on-4. You just keep hitting singles, throw the ball to the open guy. He had the same play last week against Brooklyn where he tried to throw a lob over his shoulder. He cannot be that guy, and he can't foul jump shooters. So I love Brandon. He's a hell of a player. He's got a hell of a future ahead of him. But I hope he watches this clip right now of me talking because he needs to hear it. He's got to be a smart, tough, great decision maker, and he's very capable of it, but that's his next step.
My goodness. Okay, so I hope he watches this clip. That tells me that this is a conversation that has been happening behind the scenes for a long time. And finally, the message needs to get to Pods in a different way, because it's not just Kerr telling him that. It's got to be his teammates. And again, this loss does not get pinned on Brandon Podziemski. But this is an interesting storyline coming out of here.
No, it's a shared loss. But
yes, but you're talking about the youngest guy on the team, somebody who plays with a lot of intensity, a lot of care as far as this means a lot to him. He is a competitor, but he's making some decisions that are hurting the team. Yeah,
he was minus 13 tonight, and one of the reasons why is because he did some things that just hurt the team. I mean, at both ends. I mean, and we talk about the passes that he makes. Talking about the foul against Michael Porter Jr.
Unnecessary.
The shot clock was winding down. He was heaving it up, and he fouled him. And next thing you know, MPJ goes to the line, free throw, splash, free throw, splash, free throw, splash, 3 points.
Yep.
And so on the other end, you saw a couple of times where, and I mentioned this in post game, Moses Moody he's hot now. He's hot. He's coming in hot, and Brandon decides he's going to do a Steph, and he's got Joker on him. I'm going to take the big man, and he tries a step back James Harden style 3-pointer.
Over Jokic.
Yes, it doesn't go in, and Moses is over there on the wing like this. Yeah. It doesn't go in, and he's probably mad at himself.
Yeah.
Because a few seconds later, he fouls another 3-point shooter. And it's like, so yeah, as a coach, that drives you nuts. As a teammate, that drives you nuts. And so BP has gotten 3 starts in a row, and this is Steve's latest experiment of who will play next to Steph. He tried Lindy for a bunch of games, and Lindy's 3-point shot disappeared when he became a starter. It was better off the bench. Gary Payton had, I think, 1 chance earlier this season. Moses had 1 chance earlier this season. So we'll see where he goes. But and Steve isn't the kind of coach who will like ream a guy out and then say, okay, next game you're on the end of the bench. So we'll see how he plays it when they play the Rockets. But when you look at the way this game played out, there were so many things that could have happened and should have happened that didn't happen. And your guards are supposed to lead the way. And like I said, Steph wasn't shooting well enough. He had 5 turnovers himself. So he made a couple of crazy throws.
He did.
So this wasn't all BP. This was a team off. Wiggins didn't do much tonight. He's pretty quiet tonight. So yeah, I mean, BP he got an earful from Steve after that foul on Porter on the bench during the game. So this is one of those, it's a learning experience, but you have to keep learning, and you have to at some point apply the lessons.
It seems what's going on with Pods right now is mostly mental as well. You can see the way that he gets frustrated when he's missing shots. He's also getting in foul trouble and being demonstrative when that is happening. And I think the team is saying, pump the brakes, calm down, we know what you can do.
Yes.
Just be a little bit smarter. Let's hear from Pods himself about how he's reacting to this game.
I mean, I agree. I played poorly defensively. I think there was just a point defensively where I was just kind of pressing too much and trying too hard. I think one of the turnovers I had where I threw it to Trace, I could have bounced it to him earlier. The other one to Wiggs just kind of slipped out of my hands when I was throwing it. Like I said, I think I was just trying too hard to defensively just kind of stick with Michael Porter and ended up fouling him twice. Definitely not like me, and definitely, some I'm not proud of. And I know, when they kind of made their runs, it's because of me either fouling or turning the ball over. So I know I'm going to be better. I know I'm going to be better. It just sucks we didn't win.
Do you feel like they're kind of pressing up or trying to make the home run back?
Nah, I don't even think offensive. I think offensively I was fine. 2 turnovers. I thought I was fine there. I think try to make the right play as much as I could. I think defensively is where I was pressing a little bit, but offensively I felt fine.
As a team, where do you feel like you guys are getting disjointed when you have these flows, some of these turnovers, and these stretches as you guys have had these last few games?
It's a good question. I feel like if we've had an answer, we wouldn't have lost 5 in a row, whatever it is now. We just got to figure some things out, and it's piecing together. We've had a bunch of leads going into fourth quarters, second half leads. So we're more than capable, and we're doing it for a majority of the game. And now it's just putting it together for the whole 48 minutes. And that's pretty much all I got for you on that one, just because, if we knew what the answer was, I think we would have fixed it by now. It's a great vibe right now. Everybody's staying together. Everybody loves each other. Our chemistry is great. Definitely, 10 times better than last year. We're all pulling for each other, even through this little skid here. Everybody's had each other's back. And so as a player, what that does for you is, just lets you remain confident and bring what you bring to the table every night. And everybody's just kind of, there for one another, which is something you need during a losing streak.
What's like the scout on him in terms of how to close out
and he has kind of an unconventional.
Yeah, the scout, I mean, hot closeout. You know, if he was to score tonight, it'd be off the dribble, no catch and shoots for him. And so, you know, the one late in the game where I missed three, and then I came down and I was on Jokic in the post in transition. Wiggs like tried to kick me out, and I was trying to get there, and then we both ran, and I should have contested to the side, made him run off, but ended up landing in his space as well. So that one, and then I think the one he shot that I fouled him on the elbow, I barely grazed him. I wasn't trying to foul him, but I did hit him on the elbow. So just to make him bounce the score is what really we had in mind. And I think, you know, we limited him to only 3 threes, but obviously 2 of the 5, technically, he got fouled on by me. So, you know, I got to be better, and I know I'll be better, and I know coach and the staff trust me to be better.
Steve kind of had a long conversation on the side. What exactly was that about? I think some of the same leagues you guys were maybe debating.
Nah, he was just like, if you didn't foul him, let me know. If you did, you know, let me know that as well. But it was more so he was just kind of getting on me to do my job, know what I'm supposed to be doing out there. And he's like, if you can't do your job, I'm gonna pull you out. And I think, you know, I followed it up with a floater, a drop kick swing to Wiggs for a wing 3, and then a pull-up jump shot. And so he just got on me a little bit, which, you know, I'm all for. I'm trying to get better. He knows he can get on me, and I'm not gonna, you know, respond emotionally, and I'm just gonna go out there and hoop. And you know, amidst the bad things that, you know, are glaring because we lost, I think me and the guys, we did a lot of great things tonight. I think Moses was great, GP was great, and so we're gonna need that, especially, you know, playing the same team 2 times.
You know, I was wondering if Pods would come to the podium tonight, and he did, and he owned it, because you have to figure he knows the exact words that Steve Kerr said to us, calling him out publicly, because he would have done that beforehand in the locker room. No surprises. He's not going to catch a guy in that way. But there was Pods, yeah, owning it.
I'm not surprised. I mean, that's kind of who he is. You know, yeah, he's been down on himself a lot this year. And I understand, because last year he was pretty good most of the time. And this year he's had some serious lumps and bumps, and he's taken that. I think he'll recover. I think mentally, I know mentally he's addressed that part of it, you know, and that's helping. His body language was pretty good up tonight. It regressed a little bit. But in the past couple of games, you know, even though his shot wasn't always falling, it looked like he looked more like the guy we saw last year. And even tonight in the first half, okay, he was out there getting buckets. And I'm like, okay, his 3 ball's not falling.
No,
but
0 for 3.
He still looked like the guy who can play and can score. He needs to find his 3 on that end. So this is good for him, though. This is good for him. Sometimes you need a little kick in the butt.
All right. At this point in the show, we haven't talked about Steph Curry. You mentioned this wasn't his greatest game either. Obviously, every defense is going to key in on Steph, but 8 of 23. He had an especially horrific third quarter. Wait a minute, let me find my notes. Third quarter, 4 turnovers and 0 for 4. Because he had that hot start. He was 15, 5, and 5, but then he cooled off. And that's kind of a moment where I went, uh-oh, and the supporting cast had to help him out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're looking at this third quarter, and the Warriors were kind of shaky, and the Nuggets were going to the free throw line all the time. And, you know, Draymond's over there in street clothes, and Steph can't buy a shot. Yeah. And that's when you saw the bench take over. And they, you know, built a nice lead into the fourth and into the third and into the fourth. Steph, you know, he needs a running buddy. And, you know, we've addressed this many times.
He
but
needs the number 2.
Yeah, and you know, the idea at the beginning of the season was that, okay, it could be any one of 3 guys on a given night. It could be Wiggins one night. It could be it could be Hield one night. It could be JK another night. Those 3 guys were the guys who you thought, okay, one of those guys is going to be good for 20 points each night, at least one of them. And tonight, you know, none of them quite got there. JK was real close, but you just don't know. And I think in Steph's case, whoever's in the backcourt with him has to be one of those guys. And if that means putting Wiggins in the backcourt and, you know, sort of figuring out what to do up front, you know, which they started the season with Wiggins in the backcourt. We'll see where it goes. But right now, BP is not giving you enough offensive spacing and force to really help Steph out and get Steph back into the groove where he likes to be in.
Well, on a night where the Nuggets frustrated Steph, at least he could facilitate for other guys. 11 assists in this game for Steph, who also went to the podium.
plays. What was the first bucket? Do you know?
2:32, you made the layup. Then Jokic.
Is that one of the and ones?
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember all the shots. I just know he had made a bunch of them. And Aaron Gordon. So I mean, their chemistry and cohesion, they don't ever get rattled, which is why it hurts to have had the game won a couple times in the fourth and just couldn't maintain momentum. And I mean, obviously against them, it happened a couple times last year too. It's a tough one to swallow because we played well enough, even with our kind of dry spells and boneheaded turnovers. We still had enough, to have a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter and lose. I don't know the answer to the why. Jokic is good.
Yeah, I would look at the 0 points on the other side. While he's making all the plays.
I missed a three. Gary missed a three. I think before that, Murray made a crazy play on JK's dunk. So if you include the last couple of free throws, like it was just a tough combination of them, making plays, converting, being great players. We, had a three at the top, tie game, doesn't go in, so it's kind of a microcosm of our season. When things haven't gone our way, just trying to find go-to sets and options to put points on the board to capitalize off a great game that we played for 44 minutes. So, stuff.
Steve said it was your idea to push your rotation. But why was that, and how does it feel tonight?
We've had some dry spells at the end of first quarter, start of the second, and same in third and fourth. We wanted to just change it up. When you lose, you got to experiment. You got to try different things. And I've done it in years past when the opportunity presents itself, I'll say. And I think obviously I'll figure out my rhythm. I got to make more shots and, be able to put the ball in the basket more consistently. But I think the offense that we created, the energy we play with, I adjusted really well to it. So who knows how long it'll last, but we're trying to get out of this hole any way we can. And, you got to play a little desperate, try desperate things at this point.
Yeah, interesting to hear Steph talk about the substitution pattern. He played 34 minutes in this game. They played without Draymond Green. We need to talk about this. This is potentially a very big injury, a very big situation for Draymond. Here in his own words, coming up next on Dubs Talk, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World for the year-end clearance sale. Save big on premium mattresses plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Howdy, folks. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Man, this feels like a big show. There was the show we thought we were going to be doing, and then we got that Steph sound, the pod sound. So yeah, thank you for our producers for working with us on the fly. Hearing some comments in here, one from Kerry. Let me see if I can scroll up to find it again. Shoot, I just lost it. Kerry's asking for a trade, I can see that. Kerry was saying, I blame Kerr for the loss. He's even saying maybe it's time for a coaching change. Here's why I'm not there yet, Kerry. It's because of the injuries for the Warriors and because we know their wounds are very much self-inflicted. When you're not making free throws and you're making crazy turnovers, okay, you can fix that. I don't think they've reached the stage that's unfixable. If the Warriors were coming into these games where you can see they were unprepared or had a total lack of effort, then I might start looking at the coach.
Yeah, and did you want to fire the coach a month ago or 3 weeks ago when the Warriors were 10-3?
Right.
And so you can't flip on a dime, and the players wouldn't respect that. They'd be like, wait a minute, we were just fine 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So now because of 2 weeks, we're going to fire a guy who got 4 championships. You can't operate that way in the NBA, or you will lose people. People will not want to come play for you, and you'll be the organization that has like a cross on it. No. So if they did that guy, they won 4 championships, and he had a two-week stretch. He was bad, and all of a sudden, you're gone.
Yeah.
And But you never know. I mean, I know even in Sacramento now, Mike Brown was Coach of the Year 2 years ago, and there's people out there, yeah, it's time for him to go. And it's like, it's a crazy world out there, but Steve is pretty secure, he's pretty safe, and he should be right now. Draymond and Steph, they're behind him.
Yeah, okay. Rochelle, can you repeat that, please? We're going to the Draymond podcast off the top? Okay, thank you. Welcome back to Dubs Talk, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. So at practice in Denver, Steve Kerr announced Draymond Green is doubtful for this game, basically said he was not going to play. So announced early that Draymond was going to be out. Yep. What he's dealing with is a sore left calf muscle. And because Draymond Green is part of the new media, because he has his own podcast, The Draymond Green Show, he talked about his injury there. And we want to share with you everything he said. So take a listen.
My thing coming into this season, like if I'm healthy, I'm on the court. Yeah. Over the last few games, I've been a bit beat up, but still feeling healthy enough to get out there on the floor and try to help my team. I started to get this calf tightness in my left calf. In 2022, leading up to me missing those 3 months, there was games of like, yo, my left glute's really tight, you know, and it loosen up a little bit and then come right back. I'm just like, oh, that's a symptom because I've been playing games and I didn't know what I was up against. So this time, some of the symptoms that I felt, I'm able to better navigate and knowing like, all right, you felt this, you may need to slow down.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll be 100% honest. I'm a little afraid. But in saying that, I have confidence in our staff. I have confidence that I'm getting ahead of it right now because the smart thing to do is to catch it right now while I'm already getting these symptoms. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
All right, so Draymond Green was in Denver to support the team. He's getting an MRI tomorrow when the Warriors are home. It was striking to hear Draymond say, I'm a little afraid. And I think that's because of the unknown at this point.
That's always the scariest part of an injury, that you don't know where it's going to go. And you know, with a calf, it can be it can be 2 or 3 weeks. It can be 5 or 6 weeks. It depends on what it is. You know, and Draymond, 3 years ago, he had a couple of issues and it took him out for a lot of big chunks of the season. So, I mean, I look at Kevin Durant. He missed, I think, 7 or 8 games because of a calf. And so I think the Warriors are hoping that this is going to be a short term. They're looking at it, they're considering it day to day right now.
Okay.
So if you look at Draymond and what he does when he's out there, what he does for this team, he's not replaceable. He's not replaceable. So in his mind, I think he's hoping that he can be back pretty soon. But if he needs 3 or 4 or 5 games, you got to give it to him. Yeah, you don't want any long-term damage, because if it gets worse, it could be a big chunk of time.
Calf injuries are tricky. They have to handle this the right way. And now the Warriors are in a situation where their 2 oldest players on the team, Steph and Draymond, need to do season-long maintenance on their bodies. We just saw Steph go through the bilateral knee tendonitis. And I say go through it like it's something that's over. It's not. It's going to be a season-long.
It's ongoing. It's chronic. And, that's something that there'll be days when it's not so bad, and there'll be days when it's really bad. So they got to play it by ear day by day.
Another thing Draymond said that I think was important is that he trusts the training staff. His relationship with Dr. Rick Celebrini is solid because Rick helped him guide him through that 2022 injury. Remember they were doing 2-a-days in Cabo, like training to get him back on the court. And then, of course, sometimes you see Draymond wearing the Celebrini jersey for his son who plays for the Sharks. So the relationship there is solid. At least we know Draymond is in good hands. More information coming tomorrow about Draymond's health. All right, when we come back, we know it doesn't get easier for the Warriors. We've got to look at the schedule. The Warriors have lost 5 consecutive. Where might they pick up a couple wins? Catherine, happy birthday. If you happen to be in the chat, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I think we just missed you, but we love to see you in here. Oh, my goodness. We thought we were going to be talking about Jonathan Kuminga in this A block. That didn't happen. We wanted to talk about Moody. We wanted to talk about GP2. Yeah, you talked about Moody a little bit.
Yeah.
Finished with 13 points in the game, all of them coming in the second half. GP2, 11 points, 9 in that second half. 5 of 6 for him in this game. So yeah, when you could tell Steph was starting to get a little bit frustrated. Wiggins was cooling off a little bit. Looney in there as a non-shooter, but in the starting lineup because Draymond wasn't there. Where are they going to get their points? So Moody and GP2 helping out tonight. You did mention Buddy has cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, he's still shooting it okay.
Yeah.
But he's finding it tougher to get open looks. You know, that's a big difference right there. And you're seeing that. I mean, their teams are following him around. They're chasing him around now. And they weren't early in the season. They were like, let's see. But he's doing his thing right now, and it's just hard to get to shake free. You watch him running around, and there's always at least one guy right behind him everywhere he goes. So, and by the time he stops, the guy's right there. And so it's tough for him right now.
It almost looked like similar strategies to see if you could slow down Jokic or Curry.
Well, they didn't want Joker to pick them apart with his passing, in which they did a really good job. Joker,
so he averages 11 assists and he finished with 6. So they wanted him to score.
Yeah.
Which he did.
Yeah.
38.
What they didn't see, I think, is maybe Michael Porter hitting those 22 points.
Yeah.
And
We're back on Dubs Talk. Where can the Warriors get some wins? Well, let's take a look at the schedule because this December is tough. You can see next a back-to-back against the Rockets and the Timberwolves. The Rockets, by the way, have moved into second place in the West. The T-Wolves 10-10 right now, but maybe finding something, okay? They've won the last 2. Seemed like that locker room had their come-to-Jesus moment.
Yes, they did.
We heard about some of those cracks where Ants, was saying publicly, feels like we don't like each other.
We're
feels
soft
like we're
and
not
we don't
connected.
talk. Yeah.
But maybe they talked because maybe they talked.
Yeah, they smoked the Lakers last night. And so, but Houston is really one of the surprises of this league. I think people thought Houston would fight for a play-in tournament, and their defense is serious. I mean, Ime Udoka, man, that dude, he finds ways to win basketball games. His guys will play for him, and you're seeing that right now, and that's what the Warriors have next. And Houston is as hot as anybody in the league right now.
Yeah, we should also mention that this was the last Cup game for the Warriors. They go 3-1. The last Cup game that determines the seeding, that is. So they are going to travel to Houston to face the Rockets. So you've got this regularly scheduled game against the Rockets, and then you have to see them
Next
again.
week. Yep.
Not going to be easy. So the Warriors trying to find something. They need a little bit of good news. We'll see what kind of injury news shakes out for Draymond Green tomorrow. Again, the MRI is coming up. And yeah, Steve Kerr has to figure out some of these combinations. He played 10 guys tonight, shrank that rotation. No Lindy, no Pat. Let's see what he does for the next game coming up on Thursday.
Rotation roulette.
Okay, he's Monte Poole. I'm Kerith Burke. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. We will see you again soon. All right, Malvin is asking, I don't get that when Moody and the team are on a roll, Kerr takes time out, Moody gets subbed out. Yeah, you know what? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me either.
Yeah, I mean, Moody has become sort of this symbol for irrational rotation movement, and fans, there's always a group of fans that want to fire the coach no matter what, but the Moody thing, people have kind of glommed onto that and said, you know what, he tends to do pretty good stuff. But his leash always seems to be really short. Okay. And I think that he's done enough to deserve a little bit longer leash. I know some of the staff is kind of like, Moses should be getting a shot. They committed to him 3 years, new contract extension. So it's not like they're trying to figure out, can he play for us? They're saying, no, he can play for us. And so when he plays well, I think it's natural to reward him. And that's been Steve's sort of the way he's done things over the years. Moody doesn't always get the benefits of that. And I think tonight what you saw, again, first half, he didn't look good. But he pulled it together. And in the third quarter and fourth quarter, he's one of the best guys on the court. Yeah. So, I think he will get another shot. The question is when. But I do think that the Warriors are looking at always open to trade possibilities. It has to be it's going to be difficult because of their salary cap situation. They can't trade like 3 guys for 1 guy, So But as they work through these next few games, there's still going to be some experimentation.
Okay.
And I do believe that Moses will be able to get a little bit longer leash during this stretch, because right now, you gave Lindy 5 games, I think it was, and now BP's had 3 games. So where do you go from here? Do you stay with BP for another game or 2, or do you switch something up? And also, it's not just the starting lineup with this Warriors team, it's the closing lineup. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I just don't want the deja vu of hearing Steve Kerr once again say how mature Moses Moody is, how much he's invested in this, how he's just the odd man out. This is your 4.
It's a numbers game.
Okay, it's your 4 of this. All right. That does it for Dubs Talk. Thank you guys for watching.